Hey guys, welcome to another flipped classroom. Today we will be talking about simple and perfect verbs. So as a reminder, a verb is something that expresses an action. So it's the action of a sentence. We also have different kinds of verbs like helping verbs, linking verbs, etc. So if you need a refresher on those types of verbs, you should probably go back into your notes. They were from last semester if you kept them. If not, I guess that can be something we talk about later on. So before we get started, make sure you have your notes page with you. I actually did give you a notes page this time. There's a lot of concepts that you need to understand, so I thought it would be easier to give you something to help you sort out your thoughts. Okay, so the thing that you need to remember about tenses is that there's the present, the past, and the future tense. The present tense is what's happening now, right this second. So what you're doing right now in the present is you're listening to me tell you about tenses. Past tense is something that's already happened. Yesterday happened already, and usually the verb has an ed at the end of it. So if you see in the sentence what has already happened, happened is the verb. If it were a present verb, it'd be happen. But since I added ed to it, it makes it past tense. And then you have future tense, and that's something that will happen, and it usually uses the helping verb will. Now I have an example of that. It's going to be easy, so I have no doubt that you guys will get it right away. We blank in the kitchen. What you are going to do is use the word cook, use it as a present, past, and future tense word in the sentence. So first is we cook in the kitchen. That's present tense. Okay, now think of past tense of what that would be. You said we cooked in the kitchen. You were correct. You added that ed at the end to change the verb into a past tense verb. And then the present tense. Or future tense, excuse me. If you said we will cook in the kitchen, you are correct. Alright. Not so bad, right? Okay, we're moving on to something called perfect tenses. This is where you really need to pay attention because this is kind of difficult to wrap your mind around. The definitions are going to sound weird, but just stick with me. There's a formula for success on here, and it should be on your notes page so you can fill it out. The formula for success on creating a perfect tense verb or sentence is having a helping verb, has, had, have, plus using a simple past tense verb, something with ed, or it doesn't necessarily have to use ed, as you'll see by our example. No, told you something was hard. Cue the bad music. So there are 3 types of tenses we need to follow. We have the present perfect tense. This tells what happens in the past and continues into the present, and we're going to use sing as an example. The helping verb that you're going to use with this is going to be have or has. So the past tense of sing is sung. So using that word, putting it into a sentence, we could say she has sung her solo. You see that has, sung is our present perfect tense. Has is our present helping verb, and sung is our simple past tense verb. Next up, we have past perfect tense. This is what has happened in the past, but before another action. I know that's kind of hard to think about, but stick with me. The helping verb you're going to use is had. Simple enough. Okay, in this sentence, before we were inside, she had sung her solo. First, you need to figure out what happened in the past, first of all. Okay? And then identify, was it before or after another past action? Okay? So, what I mean by that is, before we were inside, that is your past action that has happened. Before we were inside, she had sung her solo. So she had already sung her solo before we were even inside. So that is what happened first, her singing her solo. And then before we are going inside was what happened next. So the past perfect tense is had sung. Last one is future perfect tense. This is, of course, an event that has not yet happened, but still uses a past tense verb. The helping verb we're going to use, there's two of them. It will be will have, in this sentence at least. The sentence is, if we don't hurry, she will have sung her solo. So, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I know it's difficult. I have the practice pages for you to practice on. Please wait until we're done to begin that. And as you can see, she will have sung her solo. Last thing, consistency is key. All verbs must be in the same tense. Either they have to be all present verbs, all future verbs, or all past verbs. This is something that we will be working on in our writing, especially for our letters this week. You are going to be talking in future tense, present and future, okay? That is what we'll be working on, and I'll talk more about this tomorrow. We'll proofread, we'll make sure everything is there. So we have some examples, of course. First one, Max skimmed the paper and made the changes. This is past tense, and are your past tense verbs that you need to look at. Skimmed is what has already happened. He's already looked at it, he's already skimmed it, and he's already made changes. Okay? Next one. This is the present tense. Max skims the paper and makes the changes. So identify what the tense verbs are, present tense verbs. If you said skims and makes, you're correct. And last one, future tense. Max will skim the paper and will make the changes. So if you said that will skim and will make are your future verbs, you're correct. Okay, that is the end of the lesson for today. Go ahead and get started on your packet. If you get done with your packet, please put your name on it, turn it in. If you don't, it is homework for tomorrow. For those of you who may or may not get done early, you need to pull out a book and read. Do not mess with the people around you unless they legitimately need your help, okay? But until you get asked for help, don't worry about it. All right, you guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.